Welcome everyone to the Reading Writing Corner. I am your host Leanne, and I want to say it's so great to see you back again, or it's so good to see you for the first time. I hope you're doing so lovely today and that it's been going just the way you wanted it to go, and if not, cheer up. I'm here to tell you about Darker After Midnight by Laura Adrian. Hope you enjoy. There is also, of course, like I said in the previous video for the Laura Adrian series of Midnight Breed, a taste of midnight in the very back of this book. So I got a novella within this book, which was kind of cool if I say so, but also not. It should have been at the end of book 9, because it's in between book 9 and 10 that it's actually meant to be. Now about this series. This will be read for the last time. Dun dun dun. Part human, part otherworldly, the breed has lived among humankind for thousands of years, maintaining a tent of peace built on secrecy, power, and the dark justice carried out by the formidable warriors of the Order. But now, a blood war within the race is set to ignite. Vampires are going rogue in startling numbers, feeding without discretion, killing humans on the streets. It is up to the Order to stop the spreading threat of rogue domination, and in doing so, each of the warriors will be forced to confront private demons, darkest secrets, deepest fears. Some will know triumph, some will know loss, but each warrior can count on one thing: love. When it finds him, will often come at the worst possible moment with the least likely woman, and it will bring each of these powerful males to his knees. There is the least likely woman in this one, I'll say that, even though she is mentioned at the back of the cover, and yes, she is represented here as a main couple on the front of the book. So yes, there is the least likely woman, but it's in a different way. Not the meaning that they mean here. She's just a different type of woman. That's what that means. Okay, what made me read this book? It is the 10th book in the Braid series, and the end of the plot that revolves around Dragos and his attempt to take over the world. So this is the first overarching plot's end, not the second, but the first one. The second one continues on in the next generation of Midnight Breeds. This blurb is: in the dark of night, a blood war escalates within the hidden world of the Brood. After maintaining a fragile peace with the humans who walk beside them, unaware, a single act of retaliation has put the vampire nation at risk of discovery. It falls to the Order, a card of Brood warriors pledged to protect their own and humankind alike, to stop Dragos, the power-mad vampire, before his push for domination explodes into catastrophe. At the center of the Order's quest is Sterling's Chase, whose biggest battle is the one he wages against his own savage nature. But when his eyes meet those of Tavia Fairchild, Chase finds himself drawn to the woman and convinced she is something much more than she seems. And while everything logical warns Tavia against getting close to Chase, she cannot deny that he stirs something ravenous within her. As the Order's enemies mobilize for the battle of the ages, Chase and Tavia are thrust into the heart of the violence. With time running out, they must find a way to defeat Dragos once and for all, or die trying. Tavia Fairchild thought she was a normal person until the senator that she worked for ended up dead. It was then that her world was turned upside down. Chase, Harvard Sterling, was fighting bloodlust as he tried to find a way to stop Dragos for good. This was a good setup of Tavia and Chase and their struggles, as well as the way Dragos was trying to win the war in the shadows and how he wanted to drag it out into the public. Tavia reacts how someone would if their entire life is flipped upside down. Chase, who was never near bloodlust, acts how I think a vampire with nothing left to lose would act, because he wants to take down Dragos, the bane of his very existence. This is a paranormal romance genre, of course. Did this live up to my expectations? Not really. The ending was good, but the most important part that I had been looking forward to was anticlimax. All I gotta say about that for now. If you want to know more, stick around for the spoiler part of the review. What was more important, the character or the plot? Plot. This book is almost all about the plot, with Tavia Fairchild thrown into it along with Chase. It is the plot. The overarching plot had to be resolved in this book because it's the last one. So finally, it had to. And that's it. That's all I gotta say. There is 6 POVs within this story. And of course, it didn't affect my reading because I have read more and I have read one. So, as the ending of this non-spoiler review, should you go and read this story/series? Yes, if you like vampires, romance, mystery, and aliens? Well, you just gotta read it to find out why I put that there now, don't ya? Unless you stick around for the spoilers. Okay, folks, who didn't want to stick around for the spoilers? I'm glad you're gone. Let's get on with this. In the first few chapters, you meet the main characters, side characters, and important recurring characters. And I'm going to tell you this now so I can spoil it for everybody who stayed on. You shouldn't have. The ancients are actually aliens that came to Earth. And their only way of eating was through blood. And that's why the breed are considered vampires. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, Octavia Fairchild has photographic memory. She is actually a day walker, can eat normal food and drink blood. She is actually a female breed. Dragos had figured out how to make women, not men, women, be able to walk in the daylight as well as be females. So he figured out how to make female breed members who could walk around in the daylight, and he had them raised by minions in order to control everything they did, which is what happened to Tavia. She was controlled by Dr. Lewis, who was a doctor that worked for Dragos and was dosing Tavia to keep her breed side at bay and her lust for blood. She was taking pills all her life and she thought it was for some medical reason, and it turns out it was not. And her Aunt Sarah was actually a minion that was controlled by Dragos and was put there to monitor and force her to be, the person who worked, forcing her to work towards being part of the Congress for the senator. Senator Clarice was someone in Dragos' pocket that she actually worked for, but she didn't know that. She didn't know nothing about none of it. It was all kept out of her hair. She didn't know nothing. Arnold Pike, he also worked for Dragos. That's about all I put there for him, so why was he important? Anyways, there were several, of course, POVs within the story. They were Lucan, he comes back. Tavia Fairchild, of course. Chase, obviously, because it's about him and him finding a mate. Dragos, Matthias, Rowan, and of course, Hunter. My favorite character was Mira for her simple happiness for Christmas, because Christmas happens in this story. My most disliked character was Dragos. He needed to be unalived, which I'm glad Chase took care of, but I wanted more of a fight. And we'll get that in a little bit. It was told in chronological order with appropriate language for paranormal romance. The foreshadowing suspense was used really well in this story because we all want to know what would happen with Dragos in the end. Like, the suspense of it was like, it built up, and it built up, and it built up. I mean, Tavia sat there and pretended to be with Dragos and to get more information on him, to the point where Tavia's life was put in danger and Chase had to save her. The background of Tavia is explained very well, and everything about Dragos and his plans for the world are explained enough for all the readers to understand, as well as how he wanted to rule over the humans. The title of the book means that something happens to change perspectives of the characters after midnight. The cover of the book means everything. The main couple of this book both have glyphs and drink blood and are part of the breed. They're actually the first two breed members to get together and everything. So what stood out as memorable was Chase actually overcame his bloodlust to be with Tavia. Chase was to the point where he was almost a rogue and would no longer be able to fight the bloodlust and just simply go out and murder and kill all the humans. And he fought it and he won against it to be with Tavia, somebody he fell in love with. My favorite passage from the story is a breed female. Not only that, but a breed female with genuine dermaglyphs and the inexplicable ability to walk unharmed in broad daylight. Holy hell. Dragos learned a lot when he was doing experiments on the ancient and kidnapping breed women. He did a lot of experiments on them all. My favorite quote, Dragos is dead. Thank the fuck. He deserved it. He 100% deserved his death. The way he treated the breed women, the way he treated his hunters that he raised, the way he treated the ancient, and the way he just wanted to rule over everything. Like, naughty, naughty. Naughty, naughty. What I thought about the end of the book, guys, when I tell you that the fight with Dragos was so anticlimactic, I am I'm telling you. I'm telling you. It is so anticlimactic. Tavia distracts his Dragos. Chase literally just kills him. There's no big epic battle. There's no, ooh, well, we're fighting tit for tat or anything like that. It's just literally Chase kills him. And it was a little disappointing. Dragos, of course, revealed the breed to the human population around the world, which exposed the breed who had been trying to hide for several generations and wanted to continue hiding, so that way they wouldn't have to bend to the human rules and laws and regulations, which now, since they've been revealed, they're gonna have to. So the new element that was thrown into the book was something that I should have seen coming. The simple fact that the ancients crash landed on Earth because they had been hunting down the Atlanteans to kill them off. Yeah, Atlanteans. That is what the second arc is all about. It's about the Atlanteans. Like, what? Laura Adrian, I know you've been hinting at it the whole freaking series so far, but what? What? What book did this remind me of? I'm gonna say it once again, the Nightwalker series by Jacqueline Frank. Let's hopefully we go read about it so I can sit there and say that it reminds me of this book. This book, as you know, is part of a series called Midnight Braid. This book marked the end of the first overarching plot that took 10 books and 2 novellas to complete. And it lays the way for the second overall arching plot, which will take place with 8 books and 7 novellas. There are, of course, 9 novellas, one that takes place before Kiss of Midnight, and the next takes place after Deeper Than Midnight, and the rest will take place throughout the next overarching plot. For some reason, she didn't do no more novellas. I'm going to give this a 4.5, and that's only because of the anticlimactic fight with Dragos. It would have been a 5 if there had been more fighting. Why? The fight that I wanted was not there. Why? You ripped me off, you gypped me, and the ending was just... I will see you next illusion.